flush it out a little bit more. But usually when you see something from like a 5.06 to a 5.07, it's usually not very many things that were fixed.
Okay,
but if we do release it, it's important.
And I think here we have the feature request updates. I'm not exactly sure. You know what that is, Dan?
Customers can make feature requests and resellers as well. Perhaps he or she's referring to a feature that they requested and wants a status on whether or not that feature is in the works or not.
All right, so
our general thing on feature requests is it goes through a process of we determine, is this something that benefits a single customer or the software as a whole? Because we're not a custom solution, sometimes a feature request is very specific to an individual location, in which case it's not feasible for us to add every feature for every one of our customers that they want. If it benefits the software as a whole, it will get added based on how feasible it is, how quickly it can be introduced. And every release, there's something added, like I said, like reporting or whatever. But we are trying to focus very heavy right now on creating the cloud service, the online backup, the online reporting, the multi-location polling, and the iOS device, mobile device integration.
All right, so we do have 6 more questions. We have one here from Michael Anderson. Actually, 7 more questions now. When you open a tab and pre-authorize the card, when you go to pay the tab, you sometimes get a duplicate transaction error. I think this is what the other question was.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can definitely answer that, and that's you would only get that error when you set up a merchant account with Merchant Warehouse. By default, the account doesn't allow duplicate charges. When the account's set up, I do have them override that for bars and restaurants, because a lot of times someone will order a Budweiser for $5, pay for it on a credit card, and 10 minutes later order another Budweiser for $5. Now what happens is if the account has duplicates, to not allow duplicates, when they go to order that second $5 beer, it'll say duplicate charge. That's just a flag that can be turned on or off. For retail, you don't have charge amounts for the same amount under the same batch very frequently. In restaurants, you probably wouldn't have it either, but in bars, you do. So what you're seeing is simply a flag that I contact Merchant Warehouse with the account information, and that flag gets turned off, and then they don't see that again. So that's why that's happening, and that's just a simple. The customer themselves can request that of Merchant Warehouse to have that turned off on their account.
Okay. Next question is, table setting by seat number can be order. Looks like it could be an order. I think, is that the question here? Which I believe is.
I think what they're referring to is if we were to start a table seating at table 1, and we order this item, this hamburger. If you go to custom, actually, table seat, hold on. Make sure this is enabled. Not sure where that setting is. There is a setting to be able to set their seat number, and that's what she's referring to. Off the top of my head, I don't know where it is right this second.
Okay, that's fine.
That's something she can email me. I'm dan@pointos.com, so you can email me, or you can contact support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they can go through any of that.
All right, next question is with regard to the MSRP on the hardware and software. Any way that I can get something with the set prices, or is the suggested MSRP was listed in the reseller portal?
The answer is yeah. We can very easily get you the pricing for it. If you wanted to quickly do it yourself, I mean, it's a request that you can easily make of Dylan, but our MSRP prices are published right here. So $4.99 a station, $4.49, and then obviously as a reseller, you're getting it at a substantial discount to that. So the MSRP prices are listed here. If you want them in a specific format, just Just send Dylan an email. It's dylanp@pointos.com. If
Okay.
you want to publish, I don't know if you can publish those email addresses in the chat.
Yeah, I'll do it right now. Okay, and next question is, can we use network storage for backups with PointOS?
Yes. Well, we're moving to the cloud functionality, which will allow that better. But yeah, what you would do is you would go to database setup, and then you put where it's currently backed up. And right now it is being you can choose where it gets backed up to. And if you choose a network location, you can just go to other devices on your network and choose a network device. So if I wanted to go to Gen Desktop, I would be able to do that. So
Okay,
yes, that is possible.
All right. Is the ability to remove employees from the database available?
Employees can be activated or deactivated. The ability to completely delete them from the database is not, because what will happen is if you go into your historical reporting and the employee is just completely deleted and not deactivated, like gone, like not in the database anymore, you won't be able to find any information about historically what that employee did. Now, if you do want it gone, our support team does know how to do that. So if the employee was added who never made a transaction or did anything, we can delete it by directly addressing the database. But generally, we use the active or not active feature.
Okay. Let me see here. Ties back into release notes. I'm not really sure what that means. How about this one? Menu modify. Why can't you add to the same modify twice or 3 times?
I think what they're referring to is multi-tiered modifiers. What you get is, like, if we take, let's go to a menu item and pick something like French fries. All right, so French fries will be under the modifier food. Now, if we prompt for that modifier, we can look for the modifier food. And then there's bacon, extra cheese, lettuce, pickles. If we create a no here, you can link it to a sub-modifier, we'll link it to food again, but just for example, it can't have its own sub-modifier. We'll link it to, it really doesn't matter, entree. And then you can create another one, yes, and we'll link that to entree as well. So what you'll end up with is basically what they're asking is, why aren't there 3 layers of modifiers as opposed to we just do 2? And the answer is it just gets really confusing. So if we go to these French fries, if we hit like no, we could say like no mashed potato. And then we hit yes, we could say yes French fries. What you end up with is right here we have 12 modifiers, one of them being a custom modifier where you can type anything you want. And then we have each modifier can have 12 sub-modifiers under them, including the custom modifiers. So what you end up with is 12 times 12, what is that,
44.
144 different modifiers, which we had felt from a simplicity standpoint that was plenty of modifiers for an individual restaurant. And using that sub-modifier group, what they're asking is, can you drill down where you would say, yes, mashed potato. When you hit mashed potato, it would say butter, cheese, this, that. But it just gets really confusing. We had played with that, and we found for simplicity to not do that.
Okay. We only have 2 minutes left, so we're going to end the questions now, but we still do have 3 of them here. David, any hope for a Android mobile device integration soon?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I had said we're probably going to roll out iOS first. But our goal by the end of the year is that we probably will have an iOS version, and then what we're working on instead of an Android version would be a web-based version that can run on any web browser, which would obviously work on any Android tablet because it would run in their web browser. So yes, there is something like that in the works, and it all based it's all dependent on getting an exact copy of the database into the cloud that you would interact with from these devices.
Okay. As far as inventory setup, is the end user client responsible for establishing the inventory, or are we as the reseller obligated to set the software and inventory up for the client?
Well, that's really up to you. In my opinion, I think that should be a pay service that you offer. Are you required to do it? Absolutely not. You're the reseller. If you want to just sell them the software and say, deal with PointOS directly on their great 24-hour support, you're more than welcome to do that. And we certainly have some resellers that do that. Now, if you're looking for additional revenue streams in addition to the sale of the software, and you want to offer inventory item or menu item setup, I strongly suggest that becomes something that you charge for.
That's a really good point. You have opportunity to choose between whether you want to make money off of this or if you want to make it just a value add. It's a good choice, and it's one that the resellers will have to make.
Right. We do have resellers that really just facilitate the sale of the software, step back and don't handle any of the support or setup or anything like that, and then they're perfectly happy once the merchant warehouse contract goes through collecting their residual fees every month. But there is a ton of money that you can make in setup of hardware where you go into their location, you hook up the wires. There's a lot of money you can make in menu setup, on-site service, basically everything we don't offer that customers require.
Okay, and the one last question here is chicken. Where do you choose between 2 legs and 1 wing? Not really sure, but I'm assuming that's on the menu option here.
Where do you choose between 2 legs? Well, what they would be is they would simply be modifiers. So if you went to like entrees, fried chicken, you would just create a modifier called like, 2 leg, leg, wing, whatever the case is. Or you could even just, if it's not ordered that much, you could just type it in like 2 legs or whatever. So I'm not quite sure what that meant, but it doesn't matter what the modifier is. That's why this would work for retailers, because you can turn off modifiers, you can turn off all of these things. Pretty flexible.
All right, great. Well, that's going to conclude the webinar. Dan, Dylan, Colin, do you guys have anything else left?
I just wanted to say if anyone wants to reach out to me directly and talk more about specifics about our partner program, feel free. Hopefully you had my contact information before, but my email address is ctoomey, that's Toomey, at merchantwarehouse.com. I'd be happy to talk to anyone individually and answer any more questions.
And if anyone has any pending feature requests and they want to know what's going on, they can email me at dan@pointos.com. And for simpler things like just setting up modifiers or things I just showed you, the quickest way, call support. Within 30 seconds, you're going to have a live human, US-based human being on the phone ready to get on your computer if need be or answer your questions. So they can help you with things like that.
All right.
Yeah, well, and anybody can also, Dylan here, can email me. If you want to set up a more one-on-one kind of demo, get some more of your detailed questions hashed out, it's real easy. It's Dylan P as in Peter, Dylan P at PointOS.com.
All right, and that's Dylan, D-Y-L-A-N.
That's correct.
Dylan?
That's correct.
All right. All right, well, thank you, everyone, for attending the webinar. We look forward to your feedback, questions, concerns, and have a good new year. Have a happy, prosperous, profitable new year, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you very much.